Good morning folks, my name's Adam. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for clicking on this video. It is Tuesday the 1st of March. We're at Grantham. Just got a full load of construction steel that's going down to Leadenhall Street, London. So let you have a look at it. Got 4 chains on it and a strap. We are slightly extended. Not by much, we just, as you can see, we're only out 1 notch, so we're not extended by much. Just going to measure the overhang on the back. We're allowed a metre before we have to put a marker on it. Looks like we're alright. Yeah, we're not quite 90 centimetres, so if that overhang was over a metre or a metre and above, I would have to put a marker on it, but I don't have to do. The full length of this is 17.2. So I'm alright, and well within the parameters. The maximum we can carry full rigid length is 18.6. So you've got to be careful, because when they say full rigid length, depending on what type of trailer you've got, they will measure from the furthest point on your headboard. So if you've got, sometimes where you have your lines, if you've got one of the older trailers with a box on the front, they will measure from that point. So if it sticks out another 6 inches, they will measure from that point. Like this one here, they will measure from that point. So from that point to the headboard, you've already got 26 centimetres. So obviously then you've got to start thinking what length the piece of steel is, and also, you know, what are we there? We are 8 centimetres. So we're already on 34 centimetres if you've left a gap at the headboard like that before you've measured the piece of steel that's on. And like I said, it's the full rigid length of the vehicle, so they will measure right to this point. So for instance, we used to carry 18.3 beams, which would only then give you a foot, 30 centimetres to play with either end. So if they've left it off the headboard by 20 centimetres, then you're already starting to worry, because they will measure from, like I said, the front of the headboard, which on this one is only 10 centimetres. So this bit is 10 centimetres, this bit is 7, so I've got 17 centimetres. So I know if they're going to put a piece of steel on that's say 18.3, I'm just within the parameters. But I've got to, you know, make sure. Basically you want it against the headboard. I got stopped about 10 years ago, and I was about maybe about 30 centimetres, a foot or something off the headboard, and then they measured to the front of the trailer, so where the air line's plugged in, all the way to the back of the steel, and believe it or not, I was almost a metre over, because the actual piece of steel itself that should have been 18.3 was like nearly 18.5 something, so it hadn't been cut right. So always measure. I know this is alright, I can tell how much it's opened out by, but whenever you're measuring for your 18.6, it's from the very, not your airlines that you plug in, but the actual, anything that's attached to the trailer in front of that headboard. So the furthest point to the end of your overhang, or whatever, you know, if you haven't got an overhang, on the end of the steel, and for instance it would be right to the end of that, so you've got another 10 centimeters there for that piece, and they will include it and they will measure it. And same with the width. Even with your width, they will measure this. They will measure your chain, your toggle, your tensioner or whatever, because that is your width. So for instance, when I was stopped that day in Yorkshire, I was taken to Whitwood truck stop because it was too long. The trailer had to stay there. To be fair, the copper was alright and he was happy that Swains now would have to take 24 hours to 48 hours to get a movement order for that load, and then have to go with a second man or an escort to get it moved. There's a guy in there on a low load with a massive machine box on, and in 4 places on this box they'd made metal corners so he could put his chains over, but the box was made exactly 3.5 to the millimetre. And when the police measured it, they measured his chain width on one side and his toggle on the other, made him take all the chains and tensioners off and strap it. Now, to me it weren't safe. I remember mentioning to the police officer, what happens if that comes off now? Whose responsibility is that? Because in my opinion the chains make it safe. He's changing it for straps, and he said, well, that's his choice, because his boss could get a movement order for it. It could stay here for a couple of days. His boss could get a movement order and they can move it with chains. They want it moving now. It had to be on a boat that night. They want it moving now. They'll have to strap it. He put something like 19, 20 straps on it to get it there. Felt sorry for him, but that's how it works. So, like I say, you're measuring. Don't just, if somebody's putting something on you and it's 3.5 and you've got to put your chains on it, you're over. If someone's putting something on you that's 18.3, you've got to measure the front and you've got to get it up to their board. 18.3, I'm saying 18.3 because the steel stock holds that we've moved stuff for before, they all cut the steel at 18.3 maximum length, so you're within the parameters. But if someone's trying, oh no, this is 18.6, you're alright, you're not, because the thickness of your headboard will put you over and you will get stopped for it if they stop you and measure you. Right, so I'm going to get going, get up, get my paperwork, we'll start making our way to Leadenhall. We're going to be late. It's 7:15 now. We should be there for 8, so it'll be more like 11ish, half 11. Right, we're back on. Let's get out of here. Been a bit of an epic this morning in here. I got here at 20 to 6. It's now 20 to... No, I didn't. Did I? Yeah, 20 to 6, now 20 to 8. 2 hours messing about. Firstly, there were nowhere to drop a bleeding trailer because it's hammered. And then this was right down in the bottom corner, blocked in, so I had to move some out of the way to get at it. And then wait for the lad to come and take the lock off. They lock all the trailers in here because obviously they're worried about trailer theft. The steel, high scrap value on it, so they'll be worried about any of the steel going missing. 1 second, I've got to move that. I don't want that bursting and going all over the cab. It's a tin of spray paint. Love my car. I don't want it flying off the seat, getting it all inside of it, and the cab being sprayed black. Toyota black. Won't go down very well with a gaffer, that, would it? I'll imagine. I've had that happen though with bottles of pop and cans of pop, so it's easily done. There's quite a lot of sharp edges around the bottom of the seat, on the, you know, the runners and things like that. It can easily happen. Yeah, I've had it a couple of times. My mate had it back in the day of a crate of beer. That was funny. Cab stunk of ale for weeks, with 3 or 4 cans. When when it come hurtling off the top bunk when he had to brake hard. Still makes me laugh, eh? Imagine, imagining these beer cans dancing around the cab, spraying everywhere. Now this is an awkward turning, best of time. I mean, we're not really that extended, but when you're really extended coming out of here, when you're like escort length and second man length or anything like, you have to go out of a different gear. What we used to do is reverse straight out where we're pointing now, straight where the no entry sign is, reverse straight out there and then drive under this bridge here. But then they stopped us doing that and we used to use the back gate. Is this guy going to give me any room to swing over? No. Don't need that much. Need to nick a midges. But same when we come round here. Say if I was really extended, I wouldn't be coming round this way, I'd go straight up, but we just nick a little bit at that side of the road, we'll be fine. So I'd estimate 11 o'clock-ish. Yeah, about 3.5 hours down to the Oldham area. It should be there for 8 o'clock, so we're going to be well late. But they know about it. Customer knows we're going to be late. Crazy, one extreme to the other. Yesterday, he's got me in at 4 to go and do a 3 o'clock Ropemaker Street at London, which is what's it like, just off London Wall. And I had to kill 3 hours. Came down here solo to Grantham, got the trailer. I had to kill for it. Well, I mean, I killed an hour on the way down because I was knackered. So I thought, well, there's no point in rushing, I'll have an hour on the bed. Got in here, got all strapped up, and then killed another like hour and a bit on the way down in a lay-by, and then got on into London. There's a little bit where you can stop on Silk Street. It is double yellows, but you'll get away with 20 minutes there if you have to wait. And then I pulled in, and I couldn't hold out anymore. Pulled round to the site about 2:20. Anyway, they got me in a bit of a pit lane until they were ready for me to go in the gate that I wanted. And then they didn't actually get me in under the crane in the end till 4 o'clock. So it's like one extreme to the next with this job. Sometimes you're 3 hours early, and another day, the day after, you're 3 hours late. How does that work? In the middle of the road here. Been hit a few times, that bridge. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but it's the 3rd most struck bridge in the UK, that bridge. And I seen it twice with my own eyes last year. And my mate seen it once, witnessed it being hit, and then he seen a guy parked on the road going up to Grantham. strapping his taut lining roof down and everything because he'd scraped underneath it. So that's 4 I know of last year, and I dare say it would have got hit a lot more than that. People probably just don't get out in the middle of the road. I think that's what it is, lapse of concentration and not getting out in the middle of the road. I think I've mentioned it before, that bridge, sure I have. Yeah, so I was talking about before about that parameters I was talking, 18 metres 6 rigid length of your vehicle is what I can legally, or you can legally drive without a second man or an escort. Once it goes past that, you will need a second man or an escort. And the width is 3.5 metres. So anything up to 3.5 metres, you're okay to drive it yourself without help, without a second man or an escort. Anything over that, then you need it. So you just got to be careful. You got to measure anything, and trust me, don't trust what anyone tells you it is. You get some when that looks wide, and you say, oh no, it's 3.4. We've measured it. Get your tape measure out. When you're on this type of work, a tape measure is your best friend, because heights as well. You know what I mean? You've got to be not just for anything that's you know, over height. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in general. Anything above your cab, you need to know the height of it, because obviously that changes your height. You know what I mean? I mean, you'll know your cab height and you'll have your cab height on your indicator, or you should do. But once you put a load on that's above that cab height, well, you need to know what it is. Or you're going to end up hitting that on the bridge, which happens. So a tape measure, or a measuring stick. I mean, much better with a measuring stick. And hopefully a lot of these companies that are loading you have one, but always make sure you're the one that does it, or you witness it being done, so you know 100%. Because if you get stopped, that's what they'll ask you. Did you measure it yourself? And then you say, yeah, I measured it myself. Then they'll measure it, and if it's wrong, then obviously, well, you measured it. And if you turn around and say, no, I didn't measure it myself, somebody else did, well, you're taking their word for it, and that's not ideal. Come on, not you, right? Road sweeper's done me a favour there. I don't think he's giving me the route to get round. I think he's just sweeping the road. But he's travelling that slow down it, he's held up all the other traffic, which is give me the room I needed to get round. Lauren, female driver, looks on the look young as well, in the 20s. We've got quite a few at our Rochester depot. 3 anyway, and then I think there's a couple of girls on the heavy haulage side of it. Used to be more. Good to see, innit? More coming into the industry. Can't do that. I always forget. Can't pull it that far down to the camera. Get the shades out, I think. I need to buy some decent shades. Snap my other ones, and these are just what I use on my mountain bike. To be fair, they're crap. I have to buy myself some sunglasses. They don't even block the sun out. they're just like I said before, when I'm on my mountain bike, I've got 3 different type of lenses: clear, orange, and these tinted ones. But they're not, you know what I mean, they're just cheap sports sunglasses. They're not anything to be really blocking the sun glare, right, when you're driving. Most optimistic sat nav in the world is saying we'll be there in 2 hours 2 minutes. If that's the case, we'll be there in 10 o'clock. I guarantee it. Between, I think it'll be more like, it'll be 11ish. We'll be getting on for 11, maybe a little bit after. But we'll see. We shall see. We're back on, folks. We're right in the thick of it now. I got to the Oldham area, just leaving 11, about 10 past 11 it was. Seen down with my mate Errol. I'm sure I called him Harris the other week. And I just remembered he's called Errol, not Harris. So we seen our mate Errol in the Oldham area. He made the phone call. And then came down onto site. We're heading down to site now. But we've got the added traffic because the London Underground is not running today. They're on strike. So they've decided to strike again. And we're stuck in all this. So where it normally takes me 15-20 minutes from site. I've been 35 minutes so far. 35, yeah. 34 minutes travelling time so far. I'm just starting to see now in front of me the corner of the building and the tower crane for where we're going. And we're going Fenchurch side. And there's been a lot of police cars coming down here as well. I think this one's an ambulance, but there's been a lot of blue light activity anyway coming past. This bit here is normally a bit sticky, but it has been bad. A lot worse. That mad little shop there, you know, them one shops you want to go in, see what they sell. Looks like they sell everything and anything. It's like a Radio Shack type shop, but it says it's a wholesalers as well. It sells everything. Trouble is there's no parking, so you've no chance. You're on a red route. So you've no chance of going in and having a look. Well, we haven't anyway in the truck. It is chaos. These cyclists are mental. Absolutely mental. So much construction going on in London. Get Jar, not heard of them. Get Jar. They just do the fall arrest system. That's what that is. That blue blue mesh stuff around that building. It's the fall arrest system. We do it for a company called JSafe. That's BAM Construction there. How much of this stuff's being built on Russian money, eh? Ooh, that's political. Let's not go there. I bet there's a few quid of it being built though. On Russian money, I guarantee you that. Good nick that for an old XF. Older XF. Addison Lee. Absolute imbecile. There are two red tower cranes in front of the building that we're going to. You see the large glass building behind, and then the concrete building in front with the tower crane. Well, to that concrete building and the steel structure to the left is the building we want. Look at this, man. This Addison Lee cut me up, right? Come through there and cut me up because he was in the wrong lane, and now he's blocking me now, carrying on. Think the worst drivers in London are Addison Lee drivers. I'm not saying that they can't drive, they just don't give a shite. They just block junctions, cut you up, do U-turns, do anything just to get, you know, an advantage on you. And then look at this now. Crazy. Remember when they banned Uber drivers, didn't they, from London? Should have banned these lot. Made my life easier anyway. He could have swung round where that van's going now. He could have swung round there. Anyone with half a brain would have just swung the car around there, around the other side of that. What's it? Come on, go up there. Drive up there. That was a prime example. Breathe, Adam, breathe. Actually stand corrected. I don't think that concrete structure there is anything to do with the Ayres job. It's that one, the glass one. It's partly finished. The one directly in front is not part of the same job, is it? Oh yeah, it is. It is. It is. It's all part of the same job. I thought it was, but it just didn't look it then. It looked like it was two separate buildings being built, but it's just different levels. I think it's taller here than it's going to be on this end. Guarantee you now there won't be banking on me being extended.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play far reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, now right into smoke when the fire is fierce. No, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to tell us our dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. When the world is calling out your name, begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die.
Right guys, that's another successful delivery to Fenchurch Street. What a bad tip really, it's 2:10 now, so in there about an hour and a half or so. Not bad at all. Making our way to Gateway for a Mansfield. So ETA over there will be about 3:30, depending on what this crazy traffic's like today. More blue lights. Mind you, it's a tale of London, isn't it? You'll never ever drive through the city of London without seeing an ambulance with its blues on and a couple of police cars with the blues on. Just impossible. Traffic's not looking good already. Yesterday when I tipped at Roadmaker Street, well, there was actually just round the corner from Roadmaker Street, I reversed down Finsbury Road, Finsbury Street, to the gate I wanted to tip. The job's called Roadmaker, but it's on the corner of Roadmaker and City Road. And a Chinook helicopter landed in a field, in a park, right opposite me. It looked like it was some sort of wedding ceremony. Well, there was a bride there anyway in a dress, and there was no other reason for this Chinook to be landing there. And I've got a small clip that I will include in a second, but I would have got the whole clip of it, well, from about, say, 7 foot up, landing. I'm doing whatever they were doing on the ground. I'm spooling the engines back up again, and getting the blades going again, and then lifting off, turning round, and you can see one of the soldiers on the back give us all a wave, because at this point there's quite a crowd looking, and then it turned and flew off, and all I've got is it just lifting and turning and pausing for a few seconds and flying off, because I haven't pressed record on my phone. Amateur. I seen it coming in, I thought, bloody hell, what's going on here? Obviously with the current climate, you're a bit like, hang on a minute, this doesn't seem right. And people seemed a bit hesitant to approach, but I thought, I'm getting this. So I jumped out, and I think in my rush, in my haste to get over the road and to it, all I've got as I'm walking towards it is a picture of the railing and a couple of people stood near it. And then when I've put my hand through the railing to record, I'm recording for a good 2-3 minutes, and then it starts to turn around and fly, and my screen goes blank, and I'm like, hang on, what's going on? Pressed it, unlocked my screen, I wasn't even recording. So at that point I hit record, and like I say, I missed the best bit. I'll stick that little clip in now. Crazy really, isn't it? Helicopter like that landing just off London Wall. That job is in City Road and Roadmaker Street, anyone knows round there. It's stone's throw from where we are now, and you know, we're so central we are here. So I'm sure it'll be on YouTube somewhere, because there was a few people with the phones out recording it. You probably had the whereabouts to press record, unlike me. Well, it's looking like it's going to be an epic getting over to Gateway. Wonder what they're striking for, more pay. Probably. Yeah, it's looking hammered all the way looking at it. It's not looking good. Well guys, I'm going to relieve you of watching me sat in stop-start traffic for probably 2 hours getting over to Gateway, and I'll get over there, get loaded, bob the cameras on once I'm loaded, and work out where we're going to park up for the evening.
Early in the morning, I still get a little bit nervous, fighting my anxiety constantly and try to control it. Even when I know it's been forever, I can still feel the spin. Hurts when I remember, and I never wanna feel it again. Don't know if you get it, 'cause I can't express how thankful I am that you were always with me when it hurts. I know that you don't understand. I don't wanna lose control. Nothing I can do anymore. Trying every day when I hold my breath, spinning out in space, pressing on my chest. I don't wanna lose control. Sometimes I still think it's coming, but I know it's not. Trying to breathe in and then out, but the air gets caught. 'Cause even though I'm older now and I know how to shake off the past, I wouldn't have made it if I didn't have you holding my hand. I don't wanna lose control. Nothing I can do crying every day when I hold my breath. Spinning out in space, pressing on my chest. I don't wanna lose control. I need you to know I will never be this strong without you. You've seen how I've called you, took all my doubts, 'cause I don't wanna lose control. There's nothing I can do anymore. I don't wanna lose control.
Hi folks, as you can see now we're all parked up for the night. Managed to get up to Flitwick, so parked here for the night in a lay-by. Tomorrow probably not going to start too early, maybe 6, half 6, because we've got to tip this load at Mansfield, then back down to Grantham. We're going back into London for a 17:30 Leadenhall. So it all depends, you see. Get in there 17:30. Probably do a shift change. It's probably going to be more like 6 o'clock, 6:15 when the lads get down. A couple of hours unloading at 8:15. Got to get out and park. So yeah, it's probably going to be 6:30. Give me till 9:30. Get out and get parked up. That's the best we can do, really. Got to get up to Mansfield. It's one of them where you're juggling the time up to Mansfield, back down, because obviously you've still got to be there on time. You don't want to start too late in the day, you don't want to start too early. So I'm thinking between 6 and 7 will be fine. So if I go 6:30, hopefully we'll, because if I go 6, guaranteed I'll go over 9 o'clock. And if I go 7, go at 7, they'll be quick and I'll be parked up and not earning me overtime. Can't have that. So that just leaves me now to sign off. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll get back to you. So you folks all stay safe, be good, be kind, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.